Hey guys, what's up? It's Austin and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a full review and wear test of the new L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear 24-Hour Foundation. So without further ado, let's get right on into the video and test out this foundation. Before actually getting into the application process, I want to go ahead and give you guys some details and information about this foundation. So I just pulled up all of the information on Ulta. It says, introducing L'Oreal's breakthrough longwear foundation with breathable skin technology. Infallible Fresh Wear 24-Hour Foundation provides medium to full buildable coverage that lasts all day and allows the skin to breathe. Girl, we know we gotta breathe. The formula's 3 oil absorbers resist sweat, water, and transfer. The ultra-thin liquid goes on smoothly to give a fresh, healthy-looking complexion that lasts. Color stays true and blends in evenly, so your makeup looks fresh all day. So I'm assuming that means that the foundation isn't going to oxidize. It also says that it is non-comedogenic and formulated with SPF. And it also says that this foundation is suitable for all skin types. And it is released in 30 shades for every skin tone. Now the first thing I do want to mention is that it does state that it is formulated with SPF on the Ulta website. However, it doesn't give you the exact number of SPF that it has. However, on the bottle it actually says that it has SPF 25. Personally, I feel like that is pretty valuable information and it shouldn't have been left out on the details for this product. The benefits of this foundation, it says it is up to 24 hours fresh staying power, a long-lasting foundation with their most lightweight, breathable texture. It is waterproof, transfer resistant, and sweat resistant, and it is also a medium to full buildable coverage with a natural finish. This foundation does come in the standard size. It is 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters, however you look at it. It does come in a glass bottle and it has a plastic pump. I feel like having a pump is more hygienic than a squeezy tube or even a doe foot applicator that you're applying straight on your face. And this also retails for $14.99. Now personally, I feel like that's getting a little high up there on the drugstore price range. Most drugstore foundations are like 8 to 10 bucks, so now we're moving up into $15 range, which it's a little pricey for drugstore, but honestly, if it lives up to its claims, it's still cheaper than higher end products. And if it can even beat out some of those higher end products, then I feel like that would be a great find, but we'll find out in today's video. So when I originally went to go pick up this foundation, I actually took along my NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation, and I am in the shade Mont Blanc. This is my closest skin match, so I always like to take this along with me when I'm buying new foundations, just to make sure that I get the best shade for me. So this is the closest shade match that I could find. This is the shade F10 Ivory. As you can see, it's a little lighter than the Mont Blanc that I have in the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation, but I still feel like it will work very well with my skin tone. The shade above this was 415 Rose Ivory, and it was just a little too pink for my skin tone. And then the shade above that, which was 420 True Beige, that one was too dark for my skin tone. So this was the best match that I could find. I do feel like the shade range is pretty extensive. I mean, it does come in 30 shades. A lot of drugstore foundations hardly even come in 20 shades. So like, I feel like it's pretty decent for drugstore. I do understand that products at the drugstore are competing for shelf space, so I feel like that has a lot to do with why these companies are not releasing like super extensive shade ranges. Alright, so let's actually get into applying this foundation. So I'm going to start by priming the skin. I'm just going in with a little bit of Tatcha Silk Canvas. I like to put this in my T-zone where I'm more oily. So I usually get oily around the nose, the forehead, and the chin as well. I'm pretty oily all over, but these are the areas that I want to limit my oiliness. So I just like to take that and pat that into the pores, and hopefully that sinks in and helps create that silk canvas. Now that we have that all blended in, I'm just going to be going in with a little bit of Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Primer. I'm going to be applying that everywhere else. I like to put this around the outskirts of my face, and whatever is left on the hands, I like to blend in over the middle. Alright, so let's go ahead and pump some of this on the back of the hand. Oh, 1 squirt. Let's go ahead and do, let's work with 2 pumps first, and then we'll go, if we need more, we can add more. Now you can see that this foundation is a little more liquidy than I expected. So I'm hoping that the coverage really does come through with this. I'm going to be applying this with a sponge today. This is the Juno & Co. Microfiber Velvet Sponge. I like to apply my foundations with sponges just because I feel like I get a better finish. The only time I blend out foundation with a brush is if I'm going in with a stick foundation and it's not as emollient. So I'm just going to start applying that to the skin. Kind of dot this all over the face. Again, I did go in with 2 pumps. So once we blend that out, we'll see how much coverage I have and go from there. Starting off, I do notice a little bit of a floral scent, but it's not too bad. The shade is a little more on the yellow side for me. However, it is blending in pretty nicely with my skin tone, so it's not too bad of a shade match actually. Let's blending out very nicely on the skin. I really like the finish that I have currently. I'm not sure if that'll dry down or not, but we'll also see that as well. But it's not too glowy. So I would definitely say that this foundation is medium coverage. I have a pimple right here and I can see the redness coming through as well. I can also see a little bit of redness peeking through in my nose area right here. And I also have a dark spot right here that is peeking through a little bit as well. So that's telling me that this is more of a medium coverage. I'm hoping that we can build it up to a little bit more full. Y'all know I like a full fucking beat. I'm just going in with one more pump. I'm going to spread that out over the face. I'm gonna get a little more in these areas, a little bit on the nose and the forehead as well. I actually probably used about half a pump instead of the full pump that I pumped out. Oh yeah. Okay, so this definitely builds very nicely. So I would definitely say that this is medium to full coverage and it is buildable. Wow, I'm really loving how this is looking on the skin. It definitely did build up to full coverage. Wow, you guys, so my skin is looking really, really good right now. I really do like the natural finish. You can kind of see a little bit of a glow, but it's not too much. Of course, that'll probably settle down when we do set this with powder, but right now, right on application, it's looking pretty good. I am noticing that it is collecting a little bit in the creases of my nose right here, but I'm hoping once we get through all of the powder products and setting our face that that'll be eliminated. I'm also noticing that it's not emphasizing any of my textures on my cheeks or my more porous region in the T-zone of my face as well. It's not emphasizing any of my pores. And also now that I have this foundation blended out all over the skin, I actually don't smell the floral scent anymore. This is definitely giving me like your skin but better vibes right now. And I really, really love it. Those are some of my favorite types of foundation, so I'm really hoping this works out for me. Next, I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Shape Tape and see how that blends out over top. Now there's also a corresponding concealer to this foundation. However, I literally drove to 3 CVS's this morning and could not find it. Every single one of them did not have this concealer. So I kind of just gave up and was like, fuck it. I'll just use my Tarte Shape Tape and we'll see how it works with that. I'm gonna do just a couple dots. Couple dots my ass. Lord. Just a couple dots. We're just gonna do the whole face, okay? But that's alright. That's how I usually like it. Some full ass coverage. Down the nose a little bit. Get some swipes on the forehead. Alright you guys, that concealer blended in super easy and super effortlessly. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of my Pretty Vulgar setting powder, blend out any of those creases, and now I'm gonna set that concealer. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take that powder puff and just go all over the face. Alright, now that we have the entire face powdered, I'm actually just baking a little bit underneath here. Now it's time to add some dimension back to the face. So I'm actually going to be going in with my Morphe 8L palette. This is the highlight and contour palette, and I'm going to be going in with the shade Donut, which is a shade right here. And of course, I'm going to be taking that on my JH05 brush. This is the brush that I always use. I'm going to be stippling that onto the face. I will have to say that usually by now a lot of foundations have already sunk into my like forehead wrinkles or forehead fine lines that I have. But so far this one hasn't fell into any of those lines at all. So that's pretty good. Alright, now let's go in with some blush. I'm going to be taking the Morphe 8C palette, and I'm going to be taking a little bit of Sexy and a little bit of Free right here. So I'm going to be mixing these two shades together. So I'm going to be taking my JH04 brush. I'm going to be taking a little bit of Sexy and a little bit of Free and going right into the face. Also like to take the excess blush along the sides of the face and up to the temples a little bit. I feel like that just makes everything a little more cohesive. Just doing the same thing on the other side as well. Alright, now let's go ahead and dust off some of this bake. See how we're looking. It's definitely looking very flawless and very smooth under the under eye, but I know that's probably just a concealer. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and spray the face with the Flower Beauty Seal the Deal setting spray. You gotta shake it up, otherwise you're gonna get white spots. I cannot stress that enough. You have to shake this up. I see people complaining about it all the time. I'm like, girl, shake it up. Now I'm just gonna take that blending sponge and pat it into the skin. And then for highlight today, I'm going to be dipping into the shade right here called Ring Light from the James Charles X Morphe palette. Ooh. Okay, bitch. It's a perfect highlighting shade for more fair skin tones. This time I'm gonna actually spray a little bit of setting spray on her. And now let's see what kind of pack she's punching today. Now let's see what kind of punch she's packing today. Is that right? Something like that. Oh, there she is. She just needed a little bit of help. Ooh. And for a little more oomph, I'm going to go in with the Glazed Donut Highlighter from Ofra. Give that a little bit of a spray and go in with her. I want you guys to just see her go on. She's going to be looking good. Woo, girl. Now I'm just going in with a pencil brush and the Ofra highlighter. I'm going to take this right down the nose. Love to have that little spot right there in between my nose bridge and my eyebrows. I love that. I don't know why, I just love it. I think it looks gorgeous. And last but not least, I'm just going to be completing the look with setting spray. Alright you guys, that is the face all complete. Now let's see if anything has changed since the first application. Originally, I mentioned that the foundation was settling into my nose crease right here. After powder and setting spray and everything, that has actually faded out and is no longer creasing right there. So that's pretty good. That gives some good hope. I feel like everything is looking pretty good right now. None of my texture is emphasized even after all of the powders and setting spray and everything. I also still don't have any creasing in my forehead region like usual. I'm going to be wearing this foundation for about 8 to 10 hours today. So I'm going to check in a couple times throughout the day and show you guys how it's looking. I'm also going to be filming another video, so I'm probably going to have eyeshadow on in my next check-in. Alright you guys, so this is what the foundation is looking like up close. Just like I mentioned before, I'm not getting any settling of the foundation in those fine lines around the nose. I'm also not getting any settling of the foundation in my wrinkles in my forehead as well. But everything else is looking pretty good. I don't have any cracking, no fine line creases yet, so everything is looking pretty good so far, so I check in with you guys in a couple hours. Alright you guys, so it is currently 11:45, which means I've had this foundation on for about 9 hours now. Honestly, it literally looks the same as when I applied it, which is really crazy. The only thing I will note is that I've been picking at my pimple, of course, so the foundation is kind of rubbed off of that. Other than that, nothing else has really changed. Even like the creasage in my nose is very minimal as well. There's a little more cakiness on this side than that side, but overall that doesn't, you know, change the fact that the foundation still looks freaking amazing. I do have a little bit of settling in my fine lines right here, just from my forehead wrinkles. But even that is pretty minimal than my usual foundation, so that's pretty awesome as well. I don't have any cracking going on in the base, no separation or anything. Everything is still pretty much intact. That's really awesome. I'm also very impressed with my under eye regions as well. My pores are the largest in this area, so usually throughout the day my foundations will kind of seep down into those pores and make them, you know, more emphasized and you can see them. That actually didn't happen at all. Like I said, I mean, the foundation pretty much looks exactly the same as when I applied it. My oils didn't even come through the foundation like at all. I'm gonna go ahead and switch back to my camera and give you guys my final thoughts. Just like I mentioned in the iPhone clip, I've had this foundation on for about 9 hours now, and I'm pretty freaking impressed with this foundation. Like, I'm pretty sure this is going to be like my top drugstore foundation. I definitely feel like this foundation held up to all of the claims as well. It's very lightweight on the skin. Even still 9 hours later, I still don't feel like I have any makeup on my face other than, you know, my eye makeup. It also lives up to being transfer proof. I haven't had much transfer at all. In fact, I don't have any spots missing off of my face. I definitely feel like it lives up to being water and sweat resistant as well. I was playing with my dog earlier and he was licking all over my face, and even looking at the foundation now, I don't have any like patchiness or any splotchiness or where the foundation like separated or got removed. So everything is pretty much still intact, even from dog leavings, okay? So if you have a dog that loves to lick, your foundation is not going to come off. It blends nicely into the skin and it looks fresh all day. After doing this wear test, I completely understand why it's called the Fresh Wear Foundation. It's a little crazy to me that after 9 hours my foundation almost looks exactly the same as when I applied it. I've never really had that happen with any foundation, even my higher end foundations. So that's really awesome to see that from the drugstore as well. And just like it says, it is a medium to full coverage foundation and it is very buildable. I'm also very impressed that I have literally 0 smile lines at all. Most of my foundations I do end up getting smile lines. Maybe I just didn't smile enough today or something, but I definitely did not get any smile lines, so that's always good. Just like I said before, the settling in my fine lines on my forehead is also very minimal. Now, it did come through a little bit on the right side, but usually it's all the way across, so that's awesome as well. All in all, this foundation is amazing. It definitely lived up to all of its claims, and even at an affordable price, which even some of my higher end foundations don't even live up to all of these claims. And if you guys have had the chance to try out this foundation, I'd love to hear in the comments down below what you thought about it and how it worked for you, and also what type of skin you have. I'm not really sure how it wears on dry skin types or if it clings to any texture or anything like that, but it does say it is good for all skin types, so maybe it won't cling to any of your dryness or texture. I also have a tutorial on this eye look if you'd like to check it out. It'll be linked right here. Alright you guys, that is it for my review on the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear of 24-Hour Foundation. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next week with another new video. Bye guys!